okay, if you're having unprotected sex and you catch an STD, why are you surprised? You're having unprotected sex. And what I also learned is because I started off, since I wasn't shooting for companies anymore and I was only shooting for myself. I'm like, well, why keep putting myself at risk? You know, this is my company. I make the rules. And what I learned was a lot of guys could not perform with condoms. So then that started bothering me because they would admit, like, well, I never use condoms. Never, not even in my personal life. So then I'm thinking, okay, but I know that you're dealing with people that aren't all in the industry and they're not all being tested. So, you know, and if everyone's getting tested regularly, how are these STDs popping up? Because someone's, you know, having sex with somebody outside of the circle who's not tested, you know, and bringing stuff back to the industry. So, you know, me finding that out, and then, you know, I would tell my partner, like, man, you know, this don't look good that in my girl-boy scenes, you know, with me, I'm using a condom, but then the other girl's not. I'm like, it makes it look like I either only care about my health and no one else's, or like there's something wrong with me, or I have something. And he's like, yeah, but man, dude, the guy would be like, you know, man, is it cool if I still do it to her without the condom? And the girl wouldn't mind. And they would want to, you know? Or he'd be like, man, well, I can stay hard, you know, with her with the condom, but just making up excuses just to still hit raw, you feel me? So I just recently told him, like, man, we really need to change this, because I just don't think it's a good look with people thinking, you know, especially with February, someone put an email blast out, taking an article, it was a real article that about some people who contracted AIDS, but before I was in the industry. So what they did was, one of the girls' names they took out and put my name, and they did an email blast. Next thing I know, I'm getting text messages like, man, you really need to get on Twitter. So I'm going on Twitter, and they talking bad about you. I'm like, man, come on, I'm used to, from everything in the world I could have thought it was. I would have never in a million years thought that it would be trending topic all in every city, major city, where you can change. You know how you could change the Twitter to New York or DC or Chicago. In every major city, it was trending in 3 different subjects that I had AIDS. Someone, I don't know where it started, said, oh, Jada Fire retires porn, Pinky has AIDS, and Don Cornelius kills himself. Welcome to Black History Month. And then it just spread from there, I guess. But so especially from that rumor, you know, of course I did a little comeback video, but of course people want to believe the negative or see the negative, so they more views on the negative stuff than me saying that I don't or whatever. But I'm like, you know, people that's smart enough is gonna say, okay, well, if she had this AIDS or HIV back in 2000 whatever, first of all, we know she wasn't in the industry when that happened, and if she did, why would they have allowed her to shoot so many hundreds of movies, you know? And then people are like, oh, but she has condoms in her scenes now, so maybe. So I mean, but it's just a whole bunch of just negative crap, you know. So far, you know, people don't bother me about it anymore, but every once in a blue, somebody real ignorant to say something like, oh, she got the, what's the slang for it? She got the monster, you know, or say something like that. And, you know, it affected my sales. It affected some of my bookings. People calling back like, man, we don't know if we want to bring her out because I'm in the barbershop and they're talking about this, and that. But, I mean, it kind of died down, and, you know, everything's starting to, I would say maybe the last few months ago, everything's been kind of getting back to normal and better. So, I mean, I think, honestly, I've been quiet for too long. I've been politically correct, even in the Vlad interviews. You know, I always try to watch what I say, and I don't never tell how I really feel about things. You know, I try to always be real positive, because that's initially what I really am and what I really want to be. But it just seemed like people strive off the negative. They want to see me talk shit. They want to, you know, just like some of the threats and some of the stuff people were saying, like, oh, you know, it's about time you got AIDS, bitch, I hope you die. And I'm like, damn, I know people get hated on, but I've never seen or experience something just so rude and hateful, you know, and people be like, oh, well, that's good. If they talking about you, it's a good thing. All publicity is good publicity, and I don't necessarily feel like that, you know.
I don't know if that's a good thing right there.
It sure is not. See, that's the thing. I was so fucking angry. Like, I've had motherfuckers say I'm a grandmother. I had bitches on Facebook put their last name as my last name and say, oh, well, Pinky's a grandmother, her daughter's 15 and have 2 kids. I had people say, you know, I was pregnant by Twister. I've had people just say all types of shit, and I never really, you know, got mad or expressed or anything unless somebody specifically asked in my interviews. But I was so angry. I felt like, okay, at the end of the day, y'all not asking these other motherfuckers for their test results. Why the fuck you want mine? Like, I don't have no problem going to get tested and showing my test results, but at the same time, I was just so, and I still am, hella offended, and just, it's just so offensive. Like, why the fuck I gotta prove myself to any fucking body? And people were saying that, oh, you bitch, well, yeah, bitch, you could still be lying. I want to see some motherfucking results. Why? So when I show you the results, be like, oh, them motherfuckers ain't real. Anybody, it's just like, it's gonna just keep going and going and going and going and going. I never had to prove before that, oh, this, that, and other. So, you know, I don't know. Like, Jeremy said the same thing. Like, you know, we should go to AIM in LA and do some video footage of you getting tested and going back and getting results and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I ain't tripping. But, you know, I just kind of recently even felt comfortable even talking about it because I was so fucking mad, you know. I even had somebody on Instagram talking shit, and we going back and forth. His Instagram blocked. But, you know, you can still share it on Twitter. So I'm looking at pictures of him and his family, seeing what he looked like and everything. And I'm, like, mad at this point. I'm, like, coming at him like, man, oh, you from Philly? I'm like, you know, niggas love me in Philly. I wouldn't mind, you know, peeling your cap back for me. And I'm talking all this, like, shit that I'll never ever say over the internet. But I'm angry. And so one of his friends jumped in it and is like talking shit or whatever. That's my homeboy. And I told him, like, you know, from the looks of your pictures, you look like a classy looking dude. Like, you don't even look like the type that would say something so rude and ignorant. Man, I swear, like, a couple months later, I'm in Philly on a date with my boyfriend at the time at Roof Chris. And I'm trying not to make eye contact with anybody urban in the restaurant because I don't want them to ask me for a picture, and sometimes I, you know, want my privacy, so I'm trying not to make eye contact with him because I'm like, oh, if I look over there and make eye contact, they're gonna ask me for a picture. I know it, so I'm like keeping my eyes straight forward on my date or whatever. So we pay for the check, you know. Then right when we finna leave, the guy's like, Pinky, I'm trying to ignore him, and the guy I'm with is like, they calling you. I'm like, fuck. So I turn around. Instantly, as soon as I laid eyes on him, I recognized him from the picture. It's the same dude talking shit on Instagram about, oh, the bitch got AIDS, whatever. So I look at him, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just want to apologize to you. It's a small world. I would have never thought I'd see you in person. And, you know, the dude I'm with, you know, he don't know what's going on. I never told him, but he would have busted his head right then and there if he would have known what the situation was. So the guy's with his date. He's like, man, I'm like, yeah, you know, that wasn't cool. You know, that wasn't, you know, I'm calm or whatever. I'm like, that wasn't cool what you said and this and that. And he's like, well, you know, you're a real person and I'm seeing you in real life and I'm so sorry. And then he's like, well, and I'm like, you know, it's fine, whatever. And he's like, well, can my date get a picture with you? And can we get a picture shaking hands so everybody know that we made up and we're cool and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, and he looked like a fake ass Rick Ross, you know, but he wasn't as big as him, but, you know, with the beard, and he looked really, you know, put together nice and had a nice shirt like the other pictures. He looked real classy, kind of big kind of guy. So on my way out, I'm like, yeah, tell your sister congratulations on our new book. And he just looking like, damn. And I'm like, y'all got all y'all personal information, family, everything on the internet, but you want to just be coming at people, and you never know when you might bump heads with them in real life, whether it's a violent situation or just a situation where you might see the person and just be embarrassed by what you said. So I don't know. Like, you got my armpits sweating even talking about it. Like, you know.
You know, you make that fake ass movie and made a fake ass edit and lied about everything that took part, you know what I mean? But you did it to assassinate me.
And believe me, he been getting his worth out of that female, and I heard something about it that in the pre-agreement or nothing that he said he want his titties and that booty back if it go down. He owned that.